How many episodes do we spend more time on focusing on how to walk into the episode itself?
And it doesn't get better or easier each time. It just gets worse and worse.
It does get harder as we go. And you know the worst part is about recording this episode is like, Paul, turn around right now and just it's this awkward moment that you have with the window here. So for those that listening at home on YouTube or on Spotify, we are in lounge 1.
Yeah, I think so.
So when you walk past the room, you just see us sitting here, and I had a guy that walked in before, and he just stood there, and I'm just like, this is the most awkward scenario, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's always like some Balkan dad with his kid. He's like, Jesse, you bud, look, material.
No, there is a nice amount of Nike. I think I would say some of the best boots on display in Australia. We've got some of them right behind me, Mercurials.
Yes.
But yeah, look, today we are talking about the new Matildas home and away jerseys for the upcoming Women's World Cup.
Yeah, very excited actually. This is a very good take on a similar kit to what the Socceroos had, but I think they've put their own twist on it, and there's a very good sense of individuality with a bit of an upgrade too.
100%. I think when both, like, you look at the country, but also the manufacturer, when they plan their upcoming releases, whether it was the Men's World Cup in Qatar last year or it's the Women's World Cup now in Australia this year, there is always a plan of attack. And we saw Adidas release their Nature Inspired pack, which we spoke about recently. And then we saw Nike, who have gone for a bit more simplistic, but I would say Nike definitely wins, and I'm doing an episode of mine, a little bit of a plug here. Make sure you follow Token Shirt on YouTube. But I've done a little bit of an episode where I've spoken about Nike's done more work in their player technology than what Adidas has done, because I feel Adidas has become a bit lazy in the sense of their technology. They've just gone,
design.
Let's work on the design, make it more sellable than it is technology. Would you agree?
Yeah, completely. I think it's like Adidas knocked it out of the ballpark from a design point of view.
Yeah.
And from a sales perspective, and like from a consumer point of view, right? It's easy to enjoy, and you can appreciate that there is the tech there still, but it's not to the degree, especially of this new dry fit Advance.
100%. We'll definitely get into it about the technology soon. Another thing I want to make a bit of a comparison to is I do enjoy Nike's fan spec, and this is not a paid promo. We are sort of, doing this podcast, but I would say when it comes to the fan version of Adidas and Nike, I feel like the Nike one that I'm wearing right now for the Matildas, the men's cut, is a lot more comfortable, I think, the actual cut of itself than some of the Adidas ones that we saw. That coral reef inspired Spain one.
Yeah,
it looks really, really too simple for me.
In the fan version,
yeah,
yeah. I think we mentioned last week that leaning on 2 weeks back, maybe leaning onto that player spec material just gives that design a bit more body.
100%. We'll get into the episode now about the Women's World Cup jersey for the Matildas. Now, it was released recently in Sydney, official launch. We had Kat over there launching, Haddad. Amazing effort by the Nike crew there. And then we saw the Matildas wear the teal or turquoise-esque jersey against Scotland. I have to make a bit of a pun. I would have loved it, the jersey colour itself, not turquoise. Do you see where I'm getting at?
Not yet.
I would have loved for the jersey's nickname to be Tilly-esque Matilda jersey. Like,
it's
like a teal colour.
Yeah, nice.
I do like it. It looked amazing on the pitch. Did you see any highlights, any photos?
No, I didn't catch too much. I saw the photos, but I didn't catch any of the game. But I think it's on pitch. It looks sick. I saw the whole like Sam Kerr thing, and that was kind of a bit of a laugh. But no, it's cool. I think it looks good on the pitch. I wasn't. I don't know. Like, if you had to pick one out of the two, I think the home shirt for me is the better of the two.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see them, don that. But it's still a very nice kit regardless. Released
on the 3rd of April, so over a week ago now. It sort of made a lot of people think. At first, there was a lot of negativity behind the release. A lot of fans, Australian fans particularly, have been spoiled for choices. You're wearing an iconic one for the Socceroos. I'm wearing the current one. I do have the previous World Cup jersey behind me, which I would have to say is the best male or female Socceroo Matilda, anyone representing this country jersey, apart from the S2E12 kit.
That's a good call. It's a big call.
There's a lot of good ones that have good inspiration, like sort of not inspiration, historical connection.
Yeah.
But I would say when it comes to design elements, of course it's inspired by the S2E kit.
Yeah.
but this is definitely an iconic one.
It's funny that I think back and I'm sort of like, you know, if we're comparing like any Socceroos or Matildas kit from all time, I lean into like a 94, 96, even 98 territory because there's so many cool designs and yeah, that's when we grew up, right? That's, you know, that's the guys we idolized when we were kids. But yeah, look, that spew kit concept, I think it, you know, we see it with this, right? This this design, and I think you're probably going to get to a bit of a spiel on it, but
you can talk about the inspiration behind it.
You know, like it's very similar to the Adidas range where it does lean on natural elements and, you know, like landscapes and stuff from Australia. And that's a good connection. But I think the spew kit was so random because of like how iconic it became for no real reason.
A lot of people hated it
because of how ugly it was, really. Yeah. But then it became this like, you know, this figure or this, you know, this design that we kind of unanimously loved. So I think that's still like, it's a good way to connect without physically having a landmark or, you know, like, okay, this one's inspired by like the Outback and I think it was like a golden wattle as well, like that whole concept. I get that. That's nice. It's great. Like it's great to have some connection to the country. But I still find it it's cool that it is like the spew kit is like the thing now.
Yeah, and I think it's become a part of Australian sort of ideology when you look at football. And I have to say that call that I made about it being an iconic jersey, you still see it inspired from the men's and the women's kits so far. It's got that bit of mixed texture. It's got that mixed elemental design to it. And I think that spew kit was so good that it was so bad that it inspired those jerseys. I would have to say that's the best unique jersey. And I'm looking at these two now, and I think Nike have gone the right way. I was a bit scared how they would go about after the men's kit, but they've done a great job. I love how it's boxed in by the green sort of texture on the sides around the neckline. So I'll give you a quick spiel. Sorry, my wife was calling me 3 times there. So it's marble pattern inspired golden wattle. It's inspired by Australian landmarks. Again, one more thing, and when it comes to, remember that victory shirt I was telling you about? Inspired by Melbourne's thing, but it's just a template. It's not a template, which is the best part. Love that. And one thing I do like about this current home jersey for the Matildas is that I'm wearing one, and then this one here, which is the player spec, they're both different marble designs.
Yes, and that happens through both fan and player spec, right? So it's not
I'm
like
wearing
the
fan one.
It's that inconsistency is really, really cool.
I noticed it on the launch, and that's why I mentioned that just previously. When I saw that difference in both the jerseys, I thought to myself, like, this is a great little nod to sort of the unique design elements to the jersey. Yes, the away one, similar to the men's, does have its, simplistic version. But that's when we'll talk about the player spec in Dry Fit Advance.
I feel like the spew kit kind of set the precedent, I think, to have this like non-traditional design, right? You know, all through sort of like the 2000s, we had, simplistic designs like this. We might have had like the Adidas kind of era where there was stripes, maybe a little bit 96y or what, we had a bit more, dysfunctional, just, abnormal designs. And I think that spew kit really set the precedent for having something a little bit more abstract, which is great. And, they've obviously tapped into both sides of that, where the home and the away have, very contrasting designs. But I think that's really important because it kind of connects to both parts of history.
I think Nike's contract with the FA, the Socceroos and Matildas, is coming to an end soon, so there hasn't been any announcement of any extensions. So for them to go above and beyond and see this, it's pretty good. I heard from Ultra that they sold out a lot of their player spec men and women's shirts, which is a good nod to saying that there's a lot of support behind both the men's and women's code, but more so the women's, because we're seeing the World Cup on our home soil. If they were to sell out everything of the current stock they have, that's a good indication that they're going to sign on for a few more years. Whether it's an extension of 5 or 3 years, the normal terms, we'll see. No one's signing terms like Man City and signing 10 years with Puma. But it is what it is. So, look, I really love the jersey. I'm going straight out. When I first saw it, I was probably going to give it a 5 out of 10. But now seeing it in person and actually having to wear it, I have to say it's definitely a 9 to 10 out of 10. I think the only thing that really would have changed my perception of it, and we're going to see in a few more days, is the design of the numbers on the front and back of the home shirt. I did see on the way, it made the shirt a lot better for me, but really love it.
So they definitely will wear numbers on the front too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Okay, that's going to be cool.
I just noticed another detail.
Yeah, so I think the number thing is, it can, we mentioned it again, I think with the women's German kit, we can play a big part in making 100%. Or breaking
similar
the kit.
to what you're wearing, the Total 90 shirt.
Yeah, and I think like the Total 90 had their own like iconic design, right? So that became kind of part and parcel with expecting it on the kit. And I think that makes it look better, I guess.
It's similar to the what do you call it? The spew kit. You just it's synonymous to its own identity.
Completely. I think one design element we mentioned, we were talking about this straight before the episode started, was the inverted colors of the crest.
Yes.
So previously in the past, if you can see obviously the men's shirt from this season,
even the previous 2019 World Cup,
and then obviously the one, the SPU kit they've got in the corner there, they've gone inverted, which is awesome because that is for me a bit of a throwback too. I think it was like the '86 kit that we had. I think that was an Addy kit as well, but I think that is just such a cool contrast.
It pops out.
Yeah, it really stands out. And that was the first thing I looked at and I was like, hang on, that's different. And I think that it's a little bit more, retro inspired. But I think at the same time, it's a little bit more traditional too. Because I feel like if you think back to like Olympics uniforms and, things where Australia has a big sporting success, I feel like it always seems to be that's the colorway.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that that's a bit more traditional.
No, that's a good point. And another one I just noticed now while we're sitting here. Have you seen the texture of both the fan and player spec Nike emblem and the coat of arms?
Yeah, so the coat of arms is...
Rubberized.
Yeah, it's rubberized.
And
that's
then
amazing.
that one there that you've got and the one I'm wearing is cotton based.
Yeah, it's a stitch.
Just a stitch on.
Yeah.
How amazing is that?
Yeah.
Like the men's one was as well, but there's actual detail.
But
if
it
you look
feels
at that,
thick and I don't know, it feels very different. So if you've
they've
got the
definitely
men's...
changed the Nike player tech.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
And
that's definitely a lot more thicker than the men's one last.
Yeah, it is very cool. And then another thing, sorry, we keep noticing all these hidden features about this kit.
It's the best thing about these shirts.
So the rubberized one as well, amazing, right? So I think the men's one was a little bit more plasticky compared to this one. This one's very it's a thicker rubber, which is really cool. But it's actually got a texture through it. There's like a dotted pattern that runs through the design as well, which is very cool.
It's on the other end. One more thing I'll talk about the home shirt before we go over to the away shirt is I love the paneling. This broad shoulder cut here. Does it feature on this one? It does feature on this one too. I'm not sure if it's just on... No, it is. It's on both men's and women's cuts. That is such a great little feature there. I feel like it's going to allow the shirt to fit a bit more tighter.
Yep.
Looking back at the men's shirt, like the sleeve on the neck to the thing was its own panel.
Yep.
I feel like now having that separation here does give that sleeve a bit more, I think, what's the word? A tighter approach around the shoulder blade.
Yep.
One thing I would say is I've never, and it's been a very long time, I've not seen a long sleeve Socceroos or Matilda shirt. And I think if this with the pattern would have looked... Maybe shout out to Unwanted. They should definitely make some.
Maybe that's what I'm going to do with mine.
That's amazing. You know what? Looking at this shirt now, I would love to see a Dry Fit Advance home shirt long sleeve.
You've given me a very much a good inspiration. I
think
think that's going to slip into
out of all the
Kev's
Matildas,
DMs.
I definitely reckon Steph Catley would rock the long sleeve.
Yeah, 100%.
She's always got a long sleeve. Yeah.
Holding
She's,
the cuffs.
I think at Arsenal, she's always got a long sleeve, but then again, that's Arsenal.
Yeah, that's a big vibe. Oh, I'm a fan.
Shout out, if you got a long sleeve version Nike, please send us one.
Flip it over, come on.
Make sure to watch to the end of this episode because we are giving away a home shirt.
Yes, we are. Yeah, I think, look, I'd definitely have to give this a 9 out of 10. I think the only thing that would push it to a 10 would be a long sleeve, like you mentioned. Great kit. And, it's good to be able to wear your national team kit and feel a sense of pride. Right? Yes, you have that in most cases anyway, but sometimes if it's a gross kit, you're going to be reluctant to wear it in public. Right? You wear it to the game and you're happy, but you want people to be like, oh, what's this? Like, don't know what it is. Now, these are sick. To be honest, even the previous kit is still epic. So, yeah, very, very cool design.
I think one more little saying I'll say about this kit before we move on is the home shirt is great. It's unique in many ways. Nike have done a great job with the design. Mm-hmm. It's simplistic but also artistic, so it does push the boundaries and keeps it safe for a home shirt.
Yep.
Whatever nationality or club team that they've made a kit for, the home shirt's always the hard one. You can't push the boundaries.
Yeah.
Another little thing I do like about it is the simplistic sort of neckline on this. And I have noticed that this is going to be, similar to the away one, a base layer and template design element that we're going to see throughout all Nike's catalog this season. So definitely keep an eye on these templates.
Yeah, very cool. All right, moving on to the away kit. So a bit more simplistic design, like we mentioned. We've got the fan version here.
Both fan versions.
It's not too different to the rest of the Nike range that we saw released last year from what I can see.
The men's one?
Yeah.
The template is different.
The shoulder panel is
So
slightly
this is a new
different.
template. They've changed the template. From what I know, that previous template that was similar to the Toe 90 might be defunct, might be removed, and this is taking over.
But this still maintains that V
Similar. They've definitely changed it. I should have brought one.
Yeah.
But they've definitely changed it.
Still a nice kit. I like the colorway that they've chosen. I'm not like, I feel like it's hard when they release two kits at the same time. And I feel like this is why you see a lot of Premier League clubs will drop like each kit separately.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you drop them together, people are like, I like that one better. I like that one better. Yeah. Okay, cool. You can see that there is, that V still maintains, which is interesting. I don't know if that was a good decision, like to drop them both together, because I feel like individually they're nice.
What, home and away shirts?
Yeah, I know it's timing, right? Like, it's because we need to have them ready for the World Cup friendly, blah blah blah. But I feel like because the home shirt is so good, it makes this one look a lot worse than what it actually is.
It's a tough one. It's a big call there, and I think the template itself. I think Nike always has to reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
We see Adidas with Condivos over the time. I do like the color. It's funny because a lot of people are saying it's a reverse color of the men's away shirt.
The darker version.
Rashi.
Yep.
And then looking at this one, I do think at the start, again, I wasn't a huge fan of it. Also, we've got Harry Kill there, just noticed. I do like the shirt now, and I think it's going to be a lot better with the moments coming up in the World Cup.
Yep.
It's going to be a tough one for the women in the World Cup coming. Like, they have a tough group in Nigeria, Ireland, and there was one more team, I can't remember. Canada. Yep. Tough group. So I'm hoping for the best. A sellout for the first game in Sydney, which is, I think you and I definitely have to make our way up. I'm hoping that there is media opening soon for FIFA. But overall, a great shirt. I think being released at the same time, I do see the issue there.
Yep.
But many other nations did have the same scenario. One thing I did notice is that the home shirt was their inspired shirt and the away shirt was the Nike template sort of colorway.
Okay.
What do you give it out of 10?
I'd still give it a 7. I think it's still a good shirt. It's good design, and I think the player spec is much nicer than the fan version. And again, so like we said, the update in the player spec from, well, it's still realistically this year. But this version is really, really nice. That material it feels so much more substantial. There's a really nice texture to it. And obviously, the whole thing around Nike's sustainability message that they're trying to push. I think it's like a recycled polyester now, which is really cool. So, I think a good kit all around. 7 out of 10, I think, is a fair result. What are you giving this kit?
I give it a 7 out of 10 as well. I just noticed one more thing. This is a great thing about doing these episodes. How cool is that for the replication, sort of like identification of a fake or not? They've got the little dots in it now.
Yeah, that is
to celebrate
cool.
Sort of Nike's identity for the Women's World Cup. That's pretty cool. Is there any other hidden messages inside the shirt?
So in the back of the neck, we've got the same.
I think there was one shirt. Was it the men's or the Women's World Cup shirt? They had like a cool little call out on the behind their badge. And it was like one thing that Nike did really good back in the days. Nah, it's not on this one. Do you remember?
There was one. I know.
I've seen Matilda's shirt.
I've seen with Barca as well. I've done one.
Oh yeah.
I think I don't know if it maybe it was only the player spec shirts that had it, but
I think so. But look, I think definitely 7 out of 10 for this.
Let's check this one.
Check it just in case we missed out on a big call. Is it on there?
No, nothing.
Nah.
But it has got the for all.
I do like this one. I have to say, like, the player spec, the dry fit advance, for anyone purchasing these kits, if you have purchased them, congrats. But if you haven't purchased them, definitely wait when Ultra gets the player versions. From memory, they did say next couple of months. The Women's World Cup is only 2 months away, so there's going to be heaps of stock. Being the home country, I'm sure Nike is going to go above and beyond. So if you are buying this jersey, definitely get in dry fit advance. Why? Value for money.
Yeah.
How much? I think it'll be like maybe $40 to $50 more. And it's worth your money. Who are you getting on the back of your shirt?
I don't know how you read my mind. That was very weird. I was still thinking in my head, like, I can't wait to send this to Unwanted now. I'm very excited all of a sudden. Like, I really want a long sleeve version of this. It'll be sick. And I'm just trying to reel through Matildas and which players I like. I feel like Sam Kerr's very mainstream, and it'd probably be one that, like...
Shout out to Sam, though. She's a
gun. Yeah, she's a good operator, too.
All right, so if we had to avoid Sam Kerr... It's tough.
It is tough because I think about like Matilda's plays that I like. Like I loved Katrina Gorry in the way she goes about everything. She's a gun.
Yeah.
Will she make the squad? Probably.
Yeah. There's a few that you can choose from.
Yeah. But I feel like
the squad's sort of changing over time. Like we've got some young ones coming through. There's someone that don't even get called up. They're amazing, like Ultras, Galada Barachi, who Definitely needs a call-up. I don't think she'll
100%.
make it for the World Cup, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is a shame. Maybe like I think an Ellie Carpenter. I think I'm a part of the ACL fan club. So I would say fan club. We've just both copped it. And I can kind of appreciate that she's come back from a bit of adversity. I think that'd be my go-to.
Yeah, look, Ali Carpenter for me as well.
Yeah.
Left back, playing at Lyon. Greatest, I think, definitely one of the best wing backs in women's football at the moment. A second one would be Kai Simon. I'm hoping she makes the squad for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Both have come back or coming back from injury, so it's good to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, if you are after this kit, it is available at Ultra Football online and in store. If you do come in store, Melbourne or City, Sud or Nord, they're at the front. There's a lot of availability. There is secondary merch as well. There's still warm-up shirts from the Men's World Cup, so I'm not sure if they're wearing that for their shirt too.
Yeah, that'd be good to see, actually.
But
I'd say they surely would get their own warm-up shirt.
yeah, you'd hope so, but I haven't really seen much promo about that.
No, not yet.
Keep it a simple episode. Make sure to follow us on our socials, PFC Vintage, and of course, Talking Shirt. Do you want to do the honours? Do you want me to do the honours about this giveaway that we
the giveaway. So make sure you follow, like, and share this. Well, it's going to be a reel, I'm assuming, if we're going to put it on Instagram. The reel that we're going to put up, tag BTS in the share, and we'll give away a winner in 2 weeks' time.
Yep.
So we'll give away a free kit, free home shirt.
Yeah.
To the winner. So like, follow, share. Between 2 shirts on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere else.
Perfect. Most of the women's shirts will be coming in soon. That is both the Nike and the Adidas range. I'm not sure if we're getting any others as in Puma, so that's something we'll have to confirm next episode.
Wait and see.
We'll definitely see you at Ultra during the Women's World Cup. If you are watching this and you are keen to go to a game, message us on wherever you see this video, on YouTube or on Spotify. Make sure to follow us on our socials. Make sure to follow Ultra FM and Ultra Football on YouTube. Thank you as always. Anything you want to shout out? Or
no, I'm just checking to see if anyone responded to the socials. That were good.
Nah, any questions? Or did you ask them questions?
Yeah, I just put it out there, so I wanted to see if there was any questions, but there's just everyone seems to be laughing at you.
No, perfect. People reacted.
I think so.
No. That's it from me. Anything big coming up for you this weekend?
No, I'm just playing catch up between pop-ups, so we've got another one in May, so May 21's the next one. Just getting ready for that, so it's going to be big.
I'm off to Melbourne City tonight. We've got Wellington Phoenix.
Ooh.
Women's are playing the final against Victory on Saturday, semi-final, and then busy couple of weeks. I'm hoping that when you watch this, City have won the league. Stay safe, stay away from stupid people, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.
Catch you later.